stable state and possibly discuss things in states that weren't completely flattering. That is because I've been kind of in this meta mode of doing a new type of tutorial where instead of doing the tutorial from the perspective of a salesman, I'm actually doing it from the perspective of myself, where I just literally talk about these tools from the perspective of how I see these things so that you, the customers, are more aware of how I do see these things, because it isn't just me looking at it and saying, ah, yes, that is fine. I look at everything and I think, wow, that needs more improvement. But I'm also very cautious of what Blender's doing as far as the future is concerned, because I do have a vision for this tool and I want to see it to fruition, and I see that time may be against me, and so therefore I must work harder and faster and more feverishly to try to get these things to their conclusions, because Boxcutter is made to cut a box. It's a box cutter, that's its name, but to me, I want it to do so much. I want it to do so many things that it is really not able to do right now. The most minimal level design, just a little level design, just a little modular asset construction. Obviously, Boxcutter's not built for that. It just isn't. We are going to try to build it for that. I can design tasks to try to get it towards that, but there are 10 trillion systems made from user requests in the past that would actually make that impossible. My goal is never to turn myself into an exploded tool suite of incomprehensible products that the user is unable to tell where they begin and end, because that is the nightmare of everyone. You end up creating a sales funnel that no one's able to navigate through. And so I feel that HardOps is a toolkit able to solve problems when it comes to hard surface modeling and also general workflow when it comes to helper and assigning materials and the mirror. You know, to me, the core of HardOps is the mirror gizmo. But Boxcutter, the core of Boxcutter is cutting boxes, which is very strange to say, because it is also the most complicated task ever given to a single tool. If you gave a single tool a single task, you'll be surprised how complex that single task can get. And that's all I'm saying. To end this video on a kind of lighthearted note, I know it sounds kind of grim, but really it's not. I will always love Boxcutter, and its future is always going to be something to look forward to, unless Blender has something to say about it. But for the most part, until then, work must go on. And that's what I always say. Work must go on. My goal is to really just continue working on this until it reaches that final level where Boxcutter is both perfectly fast, capable in every scenario, and does the best job ever of cutting a box without anyone having to read a manual or even understand anything that I'm saying in this release log. Like, really, Boxcutter should be more educational to the user. So we are designing some tasks right now in terms of basically educating and conveyance, like new systems for displaying tooltips and conveying information has come up. I actually do not like that release logs are only disclosed in the form of videos. Personally, I would like you to scroll through release logs inside of Blender through a button that pops up in an intuitive system. Obviously, if it's me, I'm going to want an intuitive system that's fun to use, that's cool and functional and stylish. That's me. I will always be that level of complex, the level of complex that will want style in addition to function. You know, I'm never saying I want style over function. No, I want them both. I want style and function. I want function and I want to look good while doing it. And that's the purpose of Boxcutter. Boxcutter's purpose is to cut a box, but also to look good while doing it. And so over the course of this release log, I demonstrated things from years back, and it really showed how our struggles with Blender and Boxcutter have really gotten more compressed over this recent period of time. But it still gives me hope to the future, because eventually Blender will be done. They'll be done with what they're doing, and then we will pick up the pieces and get back to work, because when we started, everything was in a pretty stable place. But when we got to work making Boxcutter and HardOps, Blender also got to work with whatever they decided they were going to do. They started changing the Boolean modifier, they started changing around the bevel, they started changing around the mirror, they started adding weld. So many things have been added to Blender since we began that it's completely changed the section that we started from. What we started from was so small, and now I feel that Blender is truly beginning to take hard surface seriously. So even if we got erased, right clicking and adding an auto smooth, that's like a tombstone to me, because that's all I ever wanted in Blender, was for auto smooth to be treated a little more importantly. Unfortunately, we got it in the form of a monkey paw, where now auto smooth is a modifier. That's the most important thing you can get, is a modifier, because you always have to be aware of your modifiers. But enough ranting. I apologize for going on and on. This is the part where I would talk about Insolve and how Insolve is this thing that's going to be helping with topology, but I'll spare you on sales pitching, and I will just end the video here. And I thank you all for watching. If you watched this all the way through, stop that. Stop doing that. You know, Boogie is out there apologizing for the 800th time. What are you watching me for? Get out of here. But if you are truly watching me because you're a fan and you just miss me or whatever, like, these words are very kind. I sometimes get so inundated with the negativity of disappointment and disappointing people that I forget about the people who are actually very happy. And I can't get tied up in the people who are very happy, because then I ignore the people who are not very happy. So it's a balance. Here I am ranting again. I will just end this video, and I thank you all for watching. And I'll see you next time, because there's always a next time, isn't there?